Do I need to do
No, you don't. Oh, it was a great day. First off, these three guys have been weapons for us, and sometimes people don't think that way, but our specialists. I think Nick had a heck of a day. Dean went 4 for 4, and we put Thiek in a situation to make a 57 before the end of the half. He went out there and stroked it. Leo from offense was great. Cole Nora's been great. Lawrence. And then Brandon, our equipment guy, stepped in and played umpire because we were short an umpire today. So he went out there and spotted and worked his tail off.
You mentioned Brandon. I want to ask about a different Brandon. Brandon Hills, who I had for about 70 yards, some serious speed. What have you seen from him so far in camp?
Exactly what we thought when we watched him. You know, I think he's very under-recruited, just in the mold of those small slots and those speed, quick guys. Eventually he's going to be a returner, jet sweeps, get the ball in his hand, but you saw his explosiveness. I mean, that's a 24-foot long jumper in high school. I mean, you see some of that off the tape. He's getting more and more comfortable, and one of those guys, come game 10, 11, 12, you know, you might see out there.
Just kind of, in general, your impressions of the offense with Cam, with John, with Jackson, with Emmett?
It's hard sometimes in a scrimmage to really feel the flow, who's in there, what's going on. I thought offensively we started out just a touch slow, and then we kind of really picked it up and rev through it once we get into it. So tempo's got to be a huge part of our offense. I think Cam commanded it well. Then he made some really, really good throws. I got to see the film, but offensive line I thought protected it really well with that ones group, and we still got to get Lele and Christian back. So I think there's a lot of positive things. Defense did have their 3 takeaways today, but to the naked eye, I think run defense, we got to make sure we're shoring that up. There's too many explosive plays happening.
You know, you mentioned the 3 takeaways. There was also a lot of pass breakups, you know, from the ones all the ways to the 3. So, you know, what were some of the good things that you saw from the defense today?
I think that's important. You know, you want to counterbalance to these scrimmages. You know, as coaches, you never want to walk away saying, hey, that was dominated by one side or the other. Our guys know the Cougs win, and we're trying to get a lot of situations handled. But we got to stop the explosive pass plays. You know, so I got to go back to the film and see how we were. It seemed okay at times, but we get ourselves in a 2nd and 20, and we script that situation, and we can't give a big explosive pass play to our offense to get a first down. So there's a lot of positive things. You know, RJ, BJ were limited. You know, David Gusta is still a force in there. You know, so just excited to see the tape, see what Dom did in the middle of the field. So we'll see how it looks.
No, Nakia today. What's his update or his status?
Nakia is a workhorse. He's ready to go. We don't need to bang him up. We got to save his hits. They only got so many hits left in the tank.
What do you think about Javinsky's day?
Javinsky is just another, statement. Hopefully he leaves here just so confident on who he is, what he's becoming, and how he keeps working. So he's very competitive. He wants to get up there with the top 2, and I think he's making his case to be really trustworthy, and that's important on a scrimmage day like today.
Coach, Matera and the 2 offense seem to be moving the ball pretty well today. Just what did you think of that whole game?
Yeah, I think they're actually the 2 offense is the one that jump-started the whole scrimmage for the offense after a little bit of a slow start. John, just needs to stay consistent and just believe in his ability. We do. And don't doubt himself when he's out there. So I think he went out there and really commanded it well, made the big plays. And John is different from Cam. You see his running ability, some QB run game, times he can pull the ball and makes things happen. So I was happy with those guys because protection at times throughout camp has been an issue with that 2 unit. Thought they did a solid job today.
And you said kind of jump-started there initially. I know you talked about the big plays for the defense, but at first it felt like the 1 defense was doing a great job out there. What were your takeaways, I suppose, on the 1s?
Well, right off the gate to get a big 4th down stop in a 4th and 1 scenario was huge, and it created momentum. We're just going to need a lot of bodies on that side of the ball. So, when we stop playing Jaden and RJ and BJ and some, Shaw comes out, we need those 2 guys. This is really valuable work for those guys. So to develop depth, because at some point they're going to be playing and we can't miss a beat. So I think it was important for those guys to get a ton of learns this afternoon and take a step forward and come Monday ready to attack.
And Coach, 2 weeks down, then 2 weeks to go, or is it
3 weeks to game day?
3 weeks.
3 weeks to game day.
How do you feel about the team's progress? Are you on schedule, ahead of schedule, sort of behind schedule at this point?
I don't know if any coach ever feels ahead of schedule. I think we've done a really good job working the plan. So last year they extended fall camp a little bit, but you added 2 off days. We went 8 hard days. We were off yesterday. Some of the vets only get 20 snaps today. We're off tomorrow. It's kind of that mid-camp break. I was happy with, very limited flags, very limited false starts, very limited kind of penalties that we can control. And this is our first time out here with refs, so happy with the way we operated. You know, I'm just listening for coaches' communications and stuff like that. There's so many learned. So I think we're right where we need to be, but this team needs to play a certain way to be successful. And I think we're developing that, and toughness is the first word that comes to mind. So it was good to see out here today.
What's the biggest transition now that you go from week 1 to week 2 here in camp?
Yeah, so we're kind of in 2.5. As we finish out this last week, to me, it's very situational. I want to put our coaches and our players in what I call bulletproofing situations. You know, so whether that's second and long, whether it's 2 minutes, whether it's, you know, different sequencing scenarios and analytics and special teams and delayed knees and all those situations we got to be airtight on. So whatever happens in a game, man, we're ready to go. And that was good to work that 2-minute situation today just for myself. So we're all working to bulletproof ourselves situationally to make sure we're ready to go.
Coach, it seems like the number one offense didn't take too many shots downfield today. Was it more trying to keep the playbook maybe a little bit simpler first time going full speed, or was it more just something that Cam didn't want to force?
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. You know, we'll still be a team that takes shots down the field. You know, I like what Coach Arbuckle does. You know, we're down to kind of starting offensive lineman with that unit. Let's get the ball out quick. You know, so you got to be versatile. You can't just say this is the one thing that we do. So I think that was part of it, but a big deep pass offense will be a huge part of what we do.
Seemed to me that Devin really, played explosive on defense. What's it like to have another guy, another athlete at the position, kind of like Dayon, where it just seems to be a playmaker? He can go sideline to sideline.
I like what Dev's done so far. I think he's very focused. He's brought a lot to our team in a short order. He reminds me of Dayon a little bit. He's brought a lot to our team. Feels like he's been here for a really long time, and that's through leadership and tangibilities and just knowing that he's been through the wars. You know, it's hard because you're a veteran guy like that, playing, last year he played edge, but to play a new position, you do need a lot of reps. And physically, you don't want to get him too many. But so he's kind of going through that, but I'm really happy with Dev's at, and he's really established himself as a leader on that defense.
With all the distractions out there, how have you seen your team's focus, and I guess what are you proudest of your team's focus so far?
What distractions?
I guess that answered that.
Yeah, we're out here playing ball. We're focused on right now, and we're attacking this moment. Today was the only scrimmage of what we can control, and I was excited about the way our guys took the field today.
Lincoln Victor here with LVTV. Just wondering how you guys, how you keep this team from looking forward 3 weeks till kickoff.
That sounds very smooth, LVTV. I like that. Ooh, well, there's a guy on the sideline that was chirping at me really towards the end of the scrimmage. I think he wanted to get in as a spare quarterback. He wanted to relive the old days, maybe some options, maybe some runs, maybe some trick plays. So you got to have a little fun with it too. We're going to have fun. We're going to be ourselves. Man, we're going to stay healthy, and we're going to just keep accelerating. Number one thing is to make sure we're peaking at Fort Collins, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Brendan Jackson here with Edge Review. I feel like we're always talking about Bobby Terrell. But I just want to ask you, what do you think of his development so far, and also just the other freshman edges with Mike and they showed out today, and I just want to know what your opinion on them is.
Well, I really appreciate you asking that question. It's a very pertinent question. Bobby has been phenomenal. He'll be one of those guys that we're going to get out there right away. But you add Proctor to that mix. The crocodile is ready for anything that we throw at him. So whether it's Michael, whether it's Peter, whoever it is out there, they're going to come ready to go. And we set edges around here.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Go Cougs!